And we're back to our daily segment of Michelle Obama's terrible, terrible life. Boo effing who. She went on a podcast called Diary of a CEO. It's kind of rings a bell like a founder kind of situation. And once again, wants you to know how awful it is to be married with children.
Michelle Obama slammed for whining about costs in the White House. Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. This is her speaking with, is this the Diaries of a CEO, right? So, Rob, if you can play this clip, this is her talking about how expensive it was to live in the White House.
For years, an image has been meticulously sculpted, presented as untouchable, relatable, and flawlessly inspiring. The narrative was widely accepted, almost sacred. But what happens when that perfectly crafted facade encounters a relentless scrutiny, not from one, but from two sharp, uncompromising minds? Prepare for a seismic shift. Megyn Kelly, known for her incisive questioning, and Patrick Bet-David, a master strategist of power and influence, have collectively declared war on the narrative surrounding one of the world's most revered public figures, Michelle Obama. This isn't just a critique, it's a full-blown dissection, a theatrical dismantling of carefully constructed myths. They're not just flipping the script, they're setting the stage ablaze, exposing contradictions and revealing a calculated strategy that has, until now, remained largely hidden in plain sight. From astonishing financial revelations to the stark realities of her personal admissions, you're about to witness a takedown so audacious, it will make even the most seasoned political observers rethink everything they thought they knew. Grab your popcorn and perhaps a helmet, because this is about to get wild.
Just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like, I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just guess what happens when it all works out right? You know what you end up with? Babies. Little people with their own sense of everything. They mess you up. You love them dearly, but they're a hassle.
What? I mean, there's something wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed. She has the most negative, dark outlook on life I've ever heard from a public figure.
The first crack in the seemingly impenetrable armor appears with a seemingly innocent complaint. Michelle Obama, during a recent podcast appearance on Diary of a CEO, lamentably detailed the expensive burden of living in the White House. Can you imagine? The former First Lady, living rent-free in one of the most iconic residences globally, surrounded by an army of staff, claimed to be financially strained. Her lament included having to pay for every bit of food that you eat, and covering the travel costs for her children if they flew on the First Lady's plane. A poignant tale of personal sacrifice, right? But what if this narrative isn't just exaggerated, but entirely misleading? What if the White House, far from being a financial drain, was instead the ultimate launchpad for unprecedented wealth? The numbers are staggering, a direct challenge to the carefully constructed tale of woe. Before stepping into the White House in 2007, the Obamas' collective net worth stood at approximately $1.3 million, a respectable sum, no doubt. But just 8 short years later, upon leaving office in 2016, their net worth had skyrocketed to a staggering $12.2 million. That's a tenfold increase in a mere 8 years. And the exponential growth didn't stop there. By 2025, various reports estimate their net worth to be anywhere from $70 million to a colossal $250 million. So let's revisit the initial grievance. It was so expensive at the White House. This dramatic financial ascent completely obliterates that claim, painting a picture not of hardship, but of extraordinary, almost unbelievable financial triumph. It forces a chilling question. If the cost of living there was so burdensome, how did they emerge not just richer, but astronomically wealthier?
It's expensive to live in the White House.
Yeah.
As many people don't know. Sure. I mean, much is not covered. You're paying for every food, every bit of food that you eat. You know, you're not paying for housing and the staff in it, but everything, even travel. If you're not traveling with the president, if your kids are coming on a Bright Star, which is the First Lady's plane, we had to pay for their travel to be on the plane.
You know, what are you thinking when you're giving this message? Like, what are you thinking in your mind? Because let's do data. Rob, can you type in Obama's net worth in 2007? What was Obama in 2007? 1.2 million, 1.3 million. Okay, so their net worth is, let's write this down. This is pre-White House. Their collective net worth was 1.3 million. Can you go to where their net worth was in 2000 and 2016, when they're done being presidents, okay? 2016, so their net worth, as expensive as it was, they went from being 1.3 million to 12.2 million. So that's 10xing your net worth in 8 years. And that's not bad.
Beyond the grand financial exposés, a far more intimate confession sent ripples of disbelief through the public sphere. Michelle Obama, in what was presented as a moment of raw vulnerability on the podcast, delved into the supposed tribulations of marriage and motherhood. For years, her public image has been synonymous with a picture of domestic bliss, a loving wife and doting mother. Yet her unvarnished portrayal was anything but idyllic. She declared, "Of course it's hard. Guess what happens when it all works out right? You know what you end up with? Babies. Little people with their own sense of everything. They mess you up. You love them dearly, but they're a hassle." The words landed like a blunt instrument, shattering the illusion of the perfect family life often paraded before the cameras. Megyn Kelly, reacting with a mix of shock and almost profound disappointment, articulated what many were thinking. She described it as the most negative, dark outlook on life I've ever heard from a public figure, certainly one who's been given so much. Kelly questioned the very core of this public figure's inner world, wondering if such profound negativity reflected a deeper, perhaps unacknowledged depression. It's a chilling thought. Could the woman held up as an icon of joy and resilience be harboring such a bleak perspective on the most fundamental aspects of human experience? Love, partnership, and raising children. This wasn't just a slip of the tongue, it was a profound, unsettling glimpse into a mindset that many found deeply troubling, especially coming from someone positioned as a beacon of inspiration.
Negative, dark outlook on life I've ever heard from a public figure, certainly one who's been given so much. Okay, her window into motherhood and having a child, the first thing she says, they mess you up. They mess you up. Maybe that's what happened to her. Maybe she was totally delightful before the two daughters came along. I don't know. She clearly is not enjoying motherhood and enjoying being in a marriage. Even less. It's not you if things get hard. It's all hard. It's all hard. This is so backward.
Their net worth today, 2025. What is the net worth
It's got to
today?
be worth a couple $100 million. No?
It's two numbers. You see
There's
70 million to 250 million dollars. So 70 million to 250 million dollars. If you type in a couple other places, you'll see 100 million. You'll see 70 million. But you'll see a couple ranges. But let's just stick to the 70 million dollars. Pre-presidency, 1.7. So expensive being at the White House. It was so expensive that our net worth went from 1.3 million to 12.2 million 8 years later. What an expensive lifestyle.
Perhaps the most glaring contradiction in the carefully constructed Michelle Obama narrative is the persistent claim of her aversion to fame. She frequently posits herself as a reluctant icon, tragically shackled to the spotlight, yearning for a quiet life of domesticity. Yet, as Megyn Kelly wryly observes, if she's allergic to fame, she's doing a terrible job breaking out in hives. Her actions speak volumes, screaming a truth entirely opposite to her words. This is the woman who, despite supposedly hating politics, is constantly on a whirlwind of Netflix deals, book tours, and keynote speeches at every high-profile event imaginable. Kelly doesn't see a relatable figure. She sees a Disney princess in a power suit who insists she'd rather be folding laundry than presiding over a burgeoning multimedia empire. It's a performance of epic proportions, a masterful act of branding that positions her as grounded and humble, even as her global influence expands exponentially. The persistent sighs, the eye rolls about the burdens of public life. These are seen not as genuine expressions of longing for privacy, but as calculated elements of a persona designed to amplify her appeal. The contrast is stark, almost comedic, a global superstar pretending to prefer mundane chores over shaping cultural narratives. But that wasn't the whole story.
Okay, and that's not all. She can't make fun of herself. This has been obvious for years. She's incapable of laughing at her own expense, which is an absolutely dreadful quality in a person. Like, I don't think I could hire a person who works for me who doesn't have that ability.
It's curious. You're a very good communicator. Very. You were very good on stage. One of the best. You know how to rally. You actually do. Barack used to say, if I ever needed to win an election, I put Michelle on stage. I've heard that many times. Who are you inspiring with that message you're giving? Think about another younger African-American girl that's listening to this. Do you think you inspired her to want to be a first lady? What do you think you did? Do you think that motivates another girl that's watching this saying, I want to grow up to be like Michelle Obama, my hero. Oh, let me hear to see what she has to say about being a first lady. I bet she says it was the greatest honor. Oh no, in the back of her mind, she wishes he wouldn't have won because it was so expensive.
That, of course, leads me to Michelle Obama. You're back, and she's given us a whole new realm of comments. Glenn, we saved them just for you. Because she's still...
I told your staff I only started watching this podcast religiously because of the times I've been on your show and you've talked about it by yourself or with me. So I'm very ready to talk to Michelle Obama.
Oh, good. She's still just as bitter as ever. There's such a great new spin of complaints here.
The narrative of Michelle Obama's hardship forms another pillar of her public persona, often evoking empathy and admiration. Yet critics argue this narrative stretches credulity, particularly when viewed against the backdrop of her immense privilege and strategic ascent. Megyn Kelly, with her signature no-nonsense approach, virtually rolls her eyes into a new dimension watching Michelle recount these tales. Not because hardship isn't real, but because this particular brand of adversity doesn't usually come with a stylist, a best-selling memoir, and a platform that would make Oprah raise an eyebrow. It's a deeply ironic spectacle, someone constantly lamenting their perceived mistreatment, all while gracing every major magazine cover from Vogue to very important Virtue Weekly. This isn't a raw, authentic struggle. It's a meticulously curated victimhood tour. Every emotional anecdote, every tear-jerking moment is seen as part of a larger, more calculated production. It's not just a story being told, it's a franchise being built. The vulnerability, the lamentations are not just genuine expressions, they are lacquered with the gloss of well-rehearsed production, cut into trailers, and strategically deployed for maximum impact. To Kelly, it's less about raw authenticity and more about a calculated play for daytime Emmy nominations, a performance designed to generate sympathy and cement her brand's unique appeal.
So there's this story about Michelle Obama starting a podcast. And I kind of want to go through this, Michelle Obama's podcast. And her and her brother, they started a podcast. They look like twins. If you want to... No, I'm actually not being sarcastic.
Yeah, well, if she
Rob, what is this, Rob?
This is the announcement of the podcast.
Okay, play the clip. Maybe this will help out a little bit with subscribership. Go ahead and play the clip.
Hey, TikTok, it's Michelle Obama, and I'm here with my big brother, Craig.
Hey, everybody.
We're here because we're excited to announce the launch of our new podcast called IMO.
While Megyn Kelly wields sarcasm like a scalpel, Patrick Bet-David operates with the cold, calculating precision of a political analyst, a financial wizard dissecting a complex merger. To him, Michelle Obama isn't merely a former first lady, she is chillingly, the potential political ringer hidden in plain sight. He views her every move not as accidental fame or an organic evolution, but as a meticulously orchestrated soft launch of a political empire. Patrick sees beyond the celebrity facade to a sophisticated long-game strategy. The podcast launches, the high-profile speaking tours, the documentary drops. He notes their timing with the precision of a military campaign. She appears, captures headlines, stirs emotions, then gracefully exits, leaving just enough mystery to spark trending hashtags and endless speculation. This isn't just about journaling about vegetables. It's about gently steering the cultural ship. Bet-David dismisses the "I'm just like you" routine as pure theatrics. While she speaks of humble beginnings and Southside roots, her current reality is more Monaco than middle class, ferried in chauffeur-driven SUVs to luxury resorts. Her greatest performance, in Patrick's view, isn't being First Lady. It's convincing half the nation she wants nothing to do with power, while quietly, relentlessly rebranding influence itself. She's performing political Pilates, stretching her image across every conceivable sector: culture, education, entertainment, all while the media nods along like bobbleheads at a car show. This is more than personal brand building. It's the quiet construction of an unassailable political machine.
One from her most recent episode, which still on YouTube, she's got like 200,000 subscribers. It's really amazing that now she's been doing this for how many episodes? She's been literally on every podcast of the left wing promoting it. And that's still all she's managed to get. Here she is interviewing Dr. Sharon Malone, perhaps better known as former Attorney General Eric Holder's wife. And therein lies the problem, as these two ladies married to two very famous men are pissed that they are not the alpha in terms of popularity and recognition in their marriages.
You got roughly 100 million followers. Imagine having 100 million followers and you sold your book and it was record-breaking a few years ago when she sold her book. I don't know what the number was. How many copies did Michelle Obama's book sell? I don't know what the number is, but I heard it was record-breaking. Okay, 17 million copies was sold worldwide in 2018. That's when they were really, their reputation, 17 million copies. Everybody's like, oh my God, they made so much money. I don't know how much money was made. I think the number was like 36 million. How much did she get paid for it, for the books? I don't know. $65 million was paid.
Because she's supposed to be the star, Glenn. Michelle Obama. This dovetails perfectly with so many other comments she's made about how she is, like, what about me? What about me? What did those 8 years in the White House do to my soul? And why isn't anyone asking? They shouldn't have to be told to ask about how I'm doing. Go ahead.
Here, the critiques of Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David converge, their voices uniting in a powerful, harmonious dissent. They expose a shocking reality. The media's treatment of Michelle Obama is not just favorable, it's a full-blown protection program, making even the Secret Service look like slackers. Megyn Kelly's side-eye is so sharp you can almost hear it slicing through the glossy headlines. She argues the media isn't just biased, they are Michelle's unofficial PR team, treating her like a royal endangered species. Any criticism, no matter how valid, is immediately sandblasted into accusations of misogynoir, while any question transforms into a direct threat to democracy itself. It's a bewildering double standard. The press, supposedly champions of accountability, suddenly lose their nerve the moment Michelle Obama walks into the room, radiating her signature upper arm confidence. Patrick Bet-David raises the stakes further, claiming her protection isn't solely due to popularity. She's protected because she's profoundly useful, a Swiss Army knife of influence. Political, cultural, commercial. The media shields her like a long-term investment, seeing her not just as a former first lady, but as the if all else fails candidate, the emergency Beyonce button for the Democratic Party. Her name floats in every what if political discussion, an ever-present ready-made solution. To them, it all works too cleanly to be mere accident. This is not just biased reporting, it's a systemic suppression of legitimate inquiry, designed to maintain an aura of untouchable perfection around a figure wielding immense unchallenged power. And this leads to the most unsettling revelation for Kelly and Bet-David, the true agenda lurking beneath the surface of the wholesome role model packaging. They both agree. Michelle Obama's public persona is a Trojan horse wrapped in positivity and tied with a ribbon of progress. It's not simply about inspiring individuals or advocating for healthy school lunches. This is about subtly, yet profoundly, shaping culture without triggering suspicion. She is everywhere, yet nowhere. Political, yet adamantly not a politician. Powerful, yet perpetually reluctant. And this calculated ambiguity, they argue, is nothing short of brilliant. Diabolically so. Patrick Bet-David points to her strategic appearances in schools, youth shows, and animated specials about empowerment. This isn't mere entertainment, it's ideological infrastructure. She's planting flags directly in the minds of the next generation, all while benignly telling everyone she's just here to inspire. It's the political equivalent of hiding spinach and brownies, palatable on the surface, but delivering a specific, deeply embedded message. The critics don't hate her personally. That's the wild part. Their frustration stems from the infuriating fact that no one is seemingly allowed to ask real questions. Michelle Obama has achieved a level of public immunity where even a raised eyebrow gets you instantly labeled a hater, a troll, or perhaps worst of all, an actual conservative. This isn't just about public relations, it's about control over public perception, the quiet redefinition of power itself. The curtain falls, for now, on this astonishing expose. The contradictions revealed by Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David are not minor discrepancies, but chasm-like divisions between presented image and perceived reality. We've seen the astonishing financial leaps made while claims of expensive White House living were paraded. We've heard deeply unsettling views on motherhood and marriage from someone held up as a paragon of family values. We've witnessed the reluctant icon tirelessly cultivating a multimedia empire, and the victim touring the globe with a stylist and a best-selling memoir. We've been shown the strategic precision of every move orchestrated like a military campaign by someone who doesn't want power, and all of it shielded by a media machine that treats any scrutiny as an unforgivable offense. The core dilemma lingers, echoing louder than any headline. If Michelle Obama truly doesn't desire power, if she wishes to be left alone, then why does every single move she makes look, sound, and feel like a meticulously planned campaign? Why is every appearance a cultural event? Why does every silence echo louder than most people's pronouncements? She says she wants privacy, then drops a Netflix series about being misunderstood. Megyn Kelly calls out the glaring hypocrisy with a smirk and a sharp scalpel. Patrick Bet-David charts the grand strategy like a general prepping for battle. Together, they are pulling back the veil on a figure so mythologized that even legitimate criticism feels like blasphemy. They are not fueled by hatred. They are simply refusing to clap along when the show's illusions take center stage. Michelle Obama can continue to smile, continue to inspire, continue to softly shape the future through an exquisite blend of charisma and curation. But somewhere, Megyn Kelly is raising an eyebrow, and Patrick Bet-David is meticulously drawing diagrams, ensuring that we never ever mistake perfectly lit branding for the complex, often contradictory reality.